All right. Very, very warm welcome to you, ladies and gentlemen. This is episode number 23 of the Nishkarsh Sharma Show. And today we have our first guest. So, this episode is actually very special because this is the first kind of episode wherein we're interviewing someone. And today we have Mr. Rahul Bhatnagar with us. So, first of all, Rahul, a very, very warm welcome to you.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, and thank you so much for taking time out for this. And I've been thinking about getting started with interview sessions like these for the Nishkarsh Sharma Show. Before this, all the sessions are like me talking to the audience, or maybe a couple of recordings of some Instagram sessions that I did. This is the very first interview, and I really wanted this to do it with someone special. Now, we've known each other for quite some time now. I've seen your journey in the last couple of years, yours, your brother Saurabh's, then your mentors, your mentees, all of that. So I have massive respect for you. There's so much that I've learned from you as well. So I really wanted this to be with you. Now, what I'm going to do is before we actually start talking, let me quickly give everyone an introduction about you. So let me just, in fact, instead of me doing it, you do it. Why not you do it?
I always find it very strange when I have to talk about my own self. And honestly speaking, we'll write about me in the description about the good things, whatever I have done. But a few things that I would like to share over here is besides whatever we do for revenue generation and all those things, the one thing that gives me a lot of satisfaction and happiness is when I'm able to support a lot of people. Like a lot of people are not even able to realize that today. They don't believe it. That when I was a kid, I was very quiet, very shy amongst those kids who were never highlighted, who were never talking to other people, who were always sitting at the back, did not have that kind of a confidence. So now when people see me talking for hours and hours, speaking at events, people are like, how can that happen? So when I do my coaching sessions, I always look for those people who have never been given that kind of confidence, that belief, that faith that they can achieve so much in their life. When I'm able to support them, empower them, give them a direction, push them to do more, that is what gives me a lot of happiness and satisfaction. So if there is one thing that I want to be known for, that is bringing about a change in the lives of a lot of people. Because when you change, I want change is a very strong word, but yes, when you genuinely change the life of one individual, that person goes on to become unstoppable. I'll give you a very small example over here, a very recent example. Just day before yesterday, we concluded one of our residential workshops that we did at Goa. There was a person who came to the event. His name is Himanshu. Himanshu was very nervous on the first day. We told him to give his introduction. He was not speaking very confidently. I could somehow feel that he's very afraid of people judging him. So then I asked him a lot of questions. What is wrong? Why are you not opening up? Why don't you upload content? And he was saying, Sir, I wanted to, my exams happened, but then I persisted. I went deep. And then finally he said, Sir, I'm afraid of my relatives. And then I said, Are you also afraid of the fact that people might judge you or you feel that you don't look good and stuff? And then he said, Yes, sir, I have that sort of a thought process also. So I called him on the stage. I told him first to do 10 push ups on the stage. He did 10 push ups on the stage. I told him to do two more, then one more. Then he got up, then he was panting. I told him, Now make a video. So he made a video with me and the entire audience. And that video, I told him, upload it on Instagram right now. He uploaded it on Instagram. The kind of transformation that happened in his life. On the second day, we had a karaoke session. He was singing songs from Titanic. He sang three songs. Then he was always the first person to raise the hand for activities. We could literally feel that now he's so energized that maybe he can go back from Goa to Delhi without even boarding a flight. So that is what gives me so much of happiness that within a period of 2 to 3 days, a person's complete personality can be changed. So if that is something that I love doing and I'm passionate about, so I guess this would be the best introduction to give.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. So yeah, one thing that's really special about you is that every time anyone meets you, you're always so charged. And when you say that you really want to transform lives, I can say, and everyone who's met you will say this, that you really mean it. And of course, let me also give you a formal introduction for the audience as well, who does not know you. So, Rahul is an online digital entrepreneur, sales mentor, success coach, and motivational speaker. He's crossed over 1,000 online lectures and modules, and he conducts live sessions that advocate positivity and motivate people. He's a YouTuber. He has a following of more than 100,000 on YouTube. I think that's more than 100,000. Right,
So
one.
we
It's
have
almost 200,000. Almost two hundred
very
thousand now, and over 300,000 on Instagram. So that's huge. That's huge. And the interesting thing is that Rahul, when we met, almost, I think this was at the time of EBW,
That
almost
was
one and a
May
half years back.
2019. Yeah, May 2019.
Right. So at that point of time on Instagram, I think you had less than 10,000 followers, right?
I had 7,000 followers on, in fact, not even May, because the event concluded on 27th of May. So even on 1st
Right.
of June 2019, I had 7,000 followers.
True, true. So, your growth in the last 1.5 years, I mean, it's been exponential, which is, and this just makes it so special. Now, you are a pro sales mentor. You've gained massive popularity in the Indian space, and of course, so many people are knowing you. Now you've been a TEDx speaker, you've been a Joe Stock speaker, you've delivered 50 Toastmasters international speeches on 50 consecutive days. You've been featured on several media outlets, including Forbes India, Your Story, Red FM 93.5, and you also made a guest appearance on the reality show MTV. Okay, how the hell have you managed to do so much? We're really, really curious to know more about you. Where do you come from? How did all of this start? What makes Rahul who he is today? Really curious to know about that.
Yesterday night, we were doing an interaction with one of my mentees. His name is Abhit Upadhyay. And at that particular point of time, also, just like you mentioned so many things, we were actually connecting the dots. So I did an interaction with one of the YouTubers. His name is Amit Mishra. Abhit watched the video of Amit Mishra. He became a part of my community. Then a lot of my other mentees who have now featured on Joe Stocks, like Umair and other people, they got to know about me because of him. So when you ask me this question, I would always say that it is always about connecting the dots, how we started and how it helped us today. When we started with our entrepreneurial journey after completing my MBA, we thought that, okay, we have a very noble idea. This idea is amazing. It is unique. We'll make discount cards and we'll make discount cards for the entire city, Dehradun, where I belong from. I completed my MBA from Pune, then we went to Dehradun. And we thought that, okay, we will price the discount card at rupees 500. And I knew, okay, I'm very good at sales. I will be able to pull it off. And we thought that within the very first month, we'll have 3,000 people opting in for our program, or you can say the discount card model, and we'll generate a revenue of more than 15 lakh rupees in the very first month. But unfortunately, the first month went by, the first year went by, the first 3 years went by, but we were not able to generate that much amount of revenue. There were multiple reasons. There were other newspapers in Dehradun who had a similar model. They had more brands, more appealing brands. Their card was discounted, was priced at a lesser price. And then it was all physical, no digital work was involved. So we had to go to events, stand in the middle of the road, distribute the brochures, go to offices, go to households, talk to people, try and push them to buy our card and do all sort of things. Then we did an event in Dehradun by the name USB The Survivor, which was one of the most amazing student-based events that happened at Dehradun. And there we had about 1,500 participants. Then we had 3,500. Then we had 5,000 participants. So that gave us the confidence that, okay, if we put in some more efforts, if we do something different, we would be able to generate some revenue. But the harsh reality over there was, and I would say, and that is why I talk so much about having a mentor in our life, we never had anybody to guide us and mentor us. So we were so motivated and pepped up and driven. That is what kept us going. But the revenue was not being generated at all. And then I was there, my younger brother was there, we were working
Hmm,
together.
hmm,
The
hmm,
biggest problem is that when you are doing something of your own and then you have your younger brother also involved in it, and when you're not
hmm,
making money, it's quite obvious your parents would be afraid, as in whatever is happening, is this going in the right direction or not. Then we had relatives who were not convinced, rather they told our parents, what are your children doing, is this worth it, and things
hmm,
like that. So that was a very challenging phase. And then I also had my team members, although they were motivated and driven, but then how do you keep people motivated and driven without
hmm,
money, or how do you make
hmm,
their parents understand that the money would come one day? So those were all the challenging things that we were going through. Plus, when you don't have any guidance and you are the leader, then what you got to do is, even if you're not motivated, even if you're not inspired, you would still show that you are motivated and you are inspired. That's a very big problem. But then somehow we persisted. Gradually, we realized that if we don't change whatever we are doing, we'll not go anywhere. And my younger brother Saurabh also shifted to Delhi so that he can pursue the work in the digital sector. And that is when I started taking all my content and my work online. So I would not use the term struggle, but it was
hmm.
struggle because so many people must have heard in my Joe talks as well that because I was living with my family members, so they were taking care of my fooding, my stay, and everything, of course. but we did not have any money, and we literally survived at 500 rupees per month, and
Hmm.
besides that, fuel expenses. So now when I think about it, it appears to be surreal as to how can something like that happen, but that's a reality that happened. Then we took our coaching online. I realized that okay, I have it inside me to help a lot of people. We somehow managed to go to US in the year 2018. Saurabh, my younger brother, paid for the entire trip, the event tickets and everything. And when I went there, I saw that a lot of people struggle in their life. They're not able to communicate effectively. They don't have confidence. They lack a lot of things, which, if fine tuned, they would be able to do more in their life. Plus, I also learned a lot of technical things. I came back. We immediately implemented all the things that we had learned. We came up with Communication Mastery, which is our flagship program. Very soon, we'll have more than 10,000 people in our program. And that is how the journey started. So then we were able to get more things done. And gradually, it was always like taking one step at a time. But
Hmm.
all the hard work that we had done during the Survivor event in Dehradun, that helps us today. Like when we do our residential workshops, when I make people wake up for the entire night, it comes so naturally to me. If I push them to do things, it comes naturally to me. When somebody plays things that they are going through a lot, they play a victim card, I tell them that this victim card is not going to help you. Now, because I have gone through all those phases of struggle and hardships, that is why I'm able to understand that just cribbing and complaining about what you don't have is not going to take you anywhere. What you give energy to ultimately grows. So a lot of people were giving energy to the negative sides of their life. So that is how I realized no, this is not what you should do. So I believe that if we would not have gone through those hardships, all the things that we do today wouldn't have happened. The very reason that we were struggling with money at one particular point of time today helps us take care of our money and not waste our money, value whatever we are doing. So I genuinely feel, and then you talked about Joe stocks. I'm the only person who has delivered 5 Joe stocks. One of them has been converted into Tamil. So there are 6 Joe stocks. So if I would not have gone through so many things in my life, what would have I said in the Joe stocks or the TEDx platforms? You need a
True
story to
that.
tell. Hmm.
Absolutely. You're right. You're right. So, tell me something before, let's go back in time before all of this started. So, how was your life before USP? So, how was your life, before, like when you were in school, when you were in college, uh, what kind of a person you were, what kind of beliefs you had, I mean, did you want to solve some problems? So let's talk more about your early teens, your late teens, and how was your life back then?
Honestly speaking, I don't think I had any such ideas when I was in school. Just like I said, during the school days, I was not so confident. I was afraid talking to people. So thinking about changing people's lives was not at all something that I even dreamt about. But then gradually, I changed my school. I was in St. Joseph's Academy, then I switched to KVFRI. And when I went to that school, like there was a teacher over there, an English teacher, and he saw some potential in me. And he told me to speak at morning assemblies, take more initiatives, speak more. And then gradually I started believing that, okay, even I can speak, even I would be able to get some results. Then there was a debate competition that happened at school and I participated in it. So I've always been a very talkative person, but channelizing it in the right direction was something that I never knew as to how will we be able to do that. But then when I started speaking, I realized that I am able to hold the audience, I'm able to communicate with people. That gave me a lot of confidence. One good thing that I realized I have always had in my life is whatever ideas I had on my mind, I was always very vocal about it. I told people that this is something that I want to do in my life. Unlike a lot of people who keep their dreams, their aspirations, their targets, their new year resolutions, they keep them inside them because we have been told since our childhood not to reveal about the ideas that you have on your mind. People might judge you and all those things. But I don't believe in that. I believe that if you have some ideas on your mind, you should be very vocal about it. So when I was in class 12th, I was competing to become the head boy of the school, and I announced it publicly a day prior to the competition that tomorrow I'm going to win, I'm going to become the head boy. So people were like, there was going to be tough competition and stuff. I'm like, I don't,
Mhm.
it does not matter to me. And then, I had that added pressure upon me that now you got to do it, come what may. It happened. The next day, my speech was the best speech. I got selected. And now I've been speaking for years. But that day, what happened? Unfortunately, while I was speaking, the school bell rang. And I was so
Mhm.
happy that. So, what happens is when you're talking, something like that happens. So, you lose out, your concentration just goes haywire.
Yes.
That did not
Hmm.
happen with me on that day. So, probably because I had manifested that, I had believed in it, and I knew whatever might happen, I would win. So that is the kind of confidence I believe I had. And once I went to my other school, I started getting that confidence. I get that confidence boosted because of the presence of a teacher. And that is maybe somewhere for the very first time. I don't even recall that, but maybe I would have had that confidence that yes, if this person has come in my life, I am able to do more. I'm able to present myself in a more effective manner. So I genuinely
Got that.
believe that having a mentor is very important. Then I went to University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. I was blank
Hmm.
about what I had to
Hmm.
do. They were my friends. They were opting for BCom. I was a science student. I thought, let me do BCom from a college in Dehradun where the attendance was not mandatory. You go to the college, you don't go
Hmm.
to the college, not even matter at all.
Hmm.
Somehow my parents filled the form for University of Petroleum and Energy Studies. I gave the interview, I cleared the interview, and I got selected there. Even there, a debate competition happened. It's a very big university now. And the very first debate competition that happened in that college was won by me. And I
Hmm.
was not even very sure that I would win it. The next day was the prize distribution ceremony. I didn't even go there. I'm like, I don't think I would be able to win. So somebody else took the prize on my behalf. So this is what happens, you underestimate your own self. You don't
Hmm.
realize there's so much of potential inside you. But then when that happened, I'm like, Rahul, this is good. There are thousands of people in the university. For the very first time a competition happened, you won it. So there must be a little bit extra inside you. Gradually that confidence started growing. But the most amazing transformation happened when I went to do my MBA in Pune. Because, and I'll tell you why. Number one, I thought that, okay, these are the final 2 years of my life, then I will get into a job. The idea of a job has always been boring. Now it is not. Now I understand how the world works. So I thought these are the final 2 years of my freedom. So I gave my all. The topics interested me. I studied whenever there was an exam. I used to study for 10, 12 hours straight. Then I participated in almost all the competitions. My college was popular because of me, because I went to all the places. And that gave me a lot of confidence that yes, you have that edge inside you. You have that aura. Plus, we became a part of a direct selling company. We generated a lot of revenue. There was a time that I was earning more than 50,000 rupees on a daily basis. So when you are,
Hmm.
how old was I? It was 2010. So around 11 years ago. So I was around
Hmm.
22. So when you are 22 and you are earning 50,000 rupees on a daily basis, it is like crazy. You would have never imagined something like that to happen. I
Hmm.
repaid off my education loan. We bought one of the costliest cars in our college. Our college owner had the costliest car. We had the second costliest car. So even my HODs and other people were like, Rahul, what do you do? What are you doing? Tell us about it. I was teaching my HODs that this is the business
Hmm.
that we are a part of. So then I realized that Rahul, you have the speaking ability. You can empower people. You can motivate people. You can push people. And now you should do something of your own. And that is when we
Hmm.
started our entrepreneurial journey. But the
Hmm.
company that I was a part of, it collapsed. I had about 20 to 25 lakh rupees stuck in that company. Like that was supposed to come in my bank account, but we never
Hmm.
asked for a withdrawal. I thought I'll do it later. We procrastinated because we never thought that something like that can happen. So I lost out on that money. Plus, because I did not have any financial guidance, so whatever money we made, just like I told you, we bought that car, we traveled to places. So I was not
Hmm.
left with a lot of money. And whatever money
Hmm.
we were left with, we started with our venture USP, Appraised Service Portal Private Limited. And that
Got
is
that.
when within the first 1.5 years, we all the money that I had with me, we wasted all of it. And we committed a lot of mistakes. We bought
Hmm.
canopies worth 55,000 rupees that were never used. We got a lot of
Hmm.
t-shirts, we made envelopes. We wasted a lot of money on things only because we thought that we would need it, but gradually we realized that that was not wanted. I had my grandfather's clinic. We converted that into our office, and we did all that wall pasting, got the walls done, and all that stuff. And now I realize, again, maybe for the third time, I'm saying that if I would have had somebody to guide me, bhai, ye mat
Hmm.
karo, do this,
Hmm.
our journey
Hmm.
would have been so very different. We talked about the fact that I only had 7,000 followers by May 2019.
Hmm.
If I would have
Hmm.
had a mentor who would have told me the importance of social media, whatever I
Hmm.
started doing after June 2019, we could have started maybe in 2016,
Hmm.
2017. I'm very sure if we would have done it then, today we would have had a follower base of more than 1 million followers on every platform, for sure.
Hmm.
So then I realized when I connected all these dots together that Rahul, your life could have been so different if you would have got a mentor earlier on in your life, maybe a technical mentor. I got that confidence because I got that English teacher, Mr. Chauhan, in class
Hmm.
11.
Hmm.
So that gave
Hmm.
me a lot of confidence. During my college days, maybe we had a few faculties who pushed me.
Hmm.
So when I
Hmm.
realized that faculty can push you and take you to the next level, then even I
Hmm.
should do the same for a lot of people who are struggling today and who don't exactly get the right direction.
Okay.
Secondly,
So,
yeah.
yeah, I know I'm cutting you off at this point of time. In fact, I really, align with what you're saying, and
Mm,
with this specific thing about having a mentor. When you were reciting your story, I'm able to connect it with my own, and I've shared this in the
mm,
podcast before as well.
mm,
When I was in my eighth standard, I used to stuck. I used to be really terrible at studies. Used to, fail in almost all subjects. My mom and dad and one of my family friends, they put me in a coaching institute, wherein I found my first mentor. His name is Vipin Sethia.
mm,
And there was this one time wherein they were distributing some exam results, and I flunked in that exam as well. So this guy, this man, he's almost my father's age. So he comes, he keeps his hand on my shoulder, and he just looks into me, in the eye, and says to me that I see something in you.
mm,
You're a lot more than these marks. You're a lot more than all of this. And I used to be, a backbencher sitting and doing weird stuff, even in my coaching institute. And I don't know what that did, but that one sentence absolutely changed my life. And then in the next 3 4 years, I continued, getting coached by him in mathematics and all, in science. And I literally topped my school when I was getting done with it. And a
mm,
similar
mm,
thing happened with my public speaking as well. I used to be a very shy kid as well. I was in class sixth, and my Hindi teacher, she randomly called me that, okay, come in the front and recite this chapter. That
mm,
was the first time I was ever reciting something. I did that, and I was really nervous. But then after that, everyone literally, they gave me a standing ovation. I was like, what the hell just happened?
mm,
So I really aligned with what you said about finding a mentor, and you also mentioned something about people don't really realize their potential, right? And there are,
right.
I'm sure, almost everyone who's listening to this right now, they know that they have something in there. They have that energy, they
Mm,
have that potential, but they don't really
mm,
know that what exactly that thing is. How can they
mm,
utilize it? And
mm,
especially how can they monetize it, let's say, or what should
mm,
be the next step? Okay, I know that they need a mentor, but so many people don't even know where they should find a mentor, or let's
mm,
say, what kind of a mentor do they need. So many people don't have the money for it. So many people say, I don't have money. So many people say that I don't know who to trust. What would
mm.
you like to say to these people?
The first question is, how does a person realize that he or she has a lot of potential? So they need to ask, or what are they good at? What comes naturally to them? So there are a few questions that people need to ask themselves. For example, the first question that they need to ask themselves is, if they have a lot of money and time with them today, what would they be doing today? अगर उनके पास बहुत सारा टाइम है, बहुत सारा पैसा है, what would they be doing today? The second question is, what is that one thing that they can do for hours and hours and hours without getting bored? You can do it for hours, even if you are not getting paid for it. The third thing
True.
is, amongst all the recognition that you have ever received in your life, what is that one thing that has given you a lot of recognition? Like for me, it has always been public speaking, communication skills. So there would be at least one thing that would be common for all of them. And once they find the answers of all these three questions, if they realize that there is something common, that is something that they should pursue. Having said that, that is their passion. We realize that. But the fourth question that they need to ask themselves then is this something that can be monetized in my life? Because if that is not true, then they should look for the second option. What is the second thing that I would do if I have all the time and the money? What is the second thing that I could do? So till the time they're not able to find that one thing that they can also monetize, they need to introspect and they need to go deep. I'll tell you why that is important. Because even if you're passionate about something, but if you're not able to monetize it, after a period of time, you will not be able to persist. After a period of time,
True.
you will get bored.
Hmm.
On the contrary, there's a statement that I very strongly believe in. It's my own line, and that is that if you excel in your professional life, your personal life, and your passion would automatically be taken care of. So if you're doing well and you're earning money, you can take out time, you can hire people, you can outsource stuff, and you can find time to pursue your passion. But if you only pursue your passion, and that does not give you any money at all, you won't be able to persist. You won't be able to continue. I'll talk about myself. I love traveling, and I was also there on that MTV reality show. I also love acting. I really want to do it, showcase to people in the form of acting what all things can be done. So a lot of people who attend my live workshops, they see my acting skills as well. They're like, sir, you got to be there, my humorous side and all those things. So I like doing that. I love doing that. But I am doing what I'm also able to monetize. And because of that, I'm able to generate money for myself, set up an office like this, have more people in my team, give people the opportunity to learn. Along with that, I have traveled to, I don't know, maybe 15, 16 countries. And whenever I travel to a new country, I make it a point that there's an event happening over there, a very good event. So I go to that event, and then also I end up visiting a new country. At the same
Hmm.
time, in a few months, once we get more of our systems on an autopilot mode, you will also see a lot more storytelling videos coming from our side, wherein we'll have some actors and actresses, and some sort of videos would also come. Now, the very reason I'm able to pursue what I'm passionate about is because I'm doing very good at our
Hmm.
professional level. That is very
Hmm.
important. So that is my message to people. So many people say to you, pursue your passion, but if your passion does not pay you, it is not worth persisting. That's the reality.
That's awesome. That's awesome. So I've literally taken notes of these questions that you've shared, and I think these are really, really dope questions. So when you ask yourself these questions, let's say you knew that you really love to speak and you're very good with speaking. Let's say you're very good with sales, and yes, you knew that you can monetize it. My question for you is that how did you monetize your passion? I mean, what are those ways that you've monetized your passion in the last couple of years?
Initially, and this is if there are youngsters who are listening to us, I would recommend to all of you, start with the service industry. Whatever skill sets you have, work with clients, work with companies, work with businesses, work with individuals, serve them, so that you are able to give them some results, develop your skill sets to the next level, and then you would be able to realize, okay, now I can also monetize it. So I did the same thing. I was invited by a lot of schools and colleges. We also sent formal invitations that I would like to come and deliver a session over there. So I was getting paid for all those sessions. Then gradually I realized that if I'm only doing physical sessions or online sessions, I would not be able to empower a lot of people. The only way to do it is if I take it online. So I took all my content, my coaching sessions online, and on 18th of April 2018, we launched with Communication Mastery Program. So coming
Mm-hmm.
18th of April, we'll complete 3 years with that program. And one more thing that we believe we have been exceptional at is consistency. Because since 18th of April 2018, there has not even been a single week wherein we have not conducted a live workshop for the enrolled members of my program. So that means that tomorrow we'll have one more session. Like we are recording this on the 2nd of March. On 3rd of March, we have one more live session. So tomorrow is probably the 156th live workshop that we are going to do for people in 156 weeks for all my enrolled members. So not only were we good at it, we also realized just being good at it is not enough. You got to be consistent, you got to be persistent, you got to get in front of people on a regular basis. People will start believing in you, people will start realizing. Plus, people also need that constant push, motivation, energy, support, and also get their questions answered from me on a regular basis, on a weekly basis. We did all of that. And then everything else became easy. The problem with a lot of people is they're always looking for more leads, they're always looking for more clients. People forget their existing clients. People forget the people who are already believing in them or already a part of their system. I mean, you spoke at EBW1, the first edition of the event that we did. You were there. Your session was really good. I'm sure a lot of people would have complimented you for your session. When we started, when we opened the tickets for EBW2, we already have sold about 2,000 tickets. And we did not run any advertisements. All that happened because we provided people with so much of value. And if COVID would not have happened, we would have done that event for 6,000 people last year. We plan to do it this year itself in the next few months. So this is what gave me a lot of belief. First of all, that I need to empower people, I need to support people because it is my duty. They have invested money upon me. They've invested money upon their own learning. And the second thing over here is it also makes a lot of sense if you are thinking from it in terms of your business perspective. So I don't know. You are listening to me. Which perspective do you want to buy from me? You can buy that perspective. If you buy the fact that I genuinely care for my people and that is why I do it, please be consistent because of that reason. If you want to grow your business, please care about your customers due to that perspective. But please care for your customers. Please care for the people who have taken anything from you because that is something that is going to grow your business. And that is why I said, whether you want to take the popular opinion that you want to earn money or the unpopular opinion that you want to serve more people, choose anyone. But please support and please ensure that whatever promises you have made to your clients, you're going to deliver all of them.
That's awesome. You mentioned this thing about consistency, and yeah, I know that in your signature program, you guys do live sessions with consistency. I'm a part of your group as well, and I know that your customers, your audience loves you. I know that whenever you launch a program in your audience, it gets maxed out without any paid promotions. That's awesome. How do you manage to have such ultra consistency? You have a family, you have a team, you stay in Goa, and you pretty much handle such a huge business, a multi 7 8 figure business. How do you manage to be so consistent with everything, with pretty much everything that you do? You're consistent with your content on social media, you're consistent with your trainings, you're consistent with your speaking gigs, all of this. How do you manage to be consistent?
The very reason for that is because I genuinely believe in one thing, that consistency is in my own hands. Anything
Hmm.
else is not in my hands. Whether I do webinars, although now we have that predictability, as in how many conversions we'll get and everything. But there are a lot of things that are beyond my control. Consistency is not one of them. Consistency is something that is totally in my control. So if I'm not
Hmm.
being consistent, that means that I'm not committed for success. I'm not committed to get results. Since 1st of June 2019, there has not been a single day when I have not posted on Instagram, when I've not uploaded a story on Instagram, not even a single day. So I genuinely feel that so many times just showing up gets us the results. There have been days I have 6 stitches over here. I got hurt
Hmm.
very badly. Within 10 to
Hmm.
12 hours, I was doing a live session. I was suffering with dengue. I did not even know that I'm suffering with dengue. So what I thought was that maybe there is something wrong with my camera, and that is why
Okay.
the vision is blurry, because I couldn't see the screen clearly. But I still did the session. Then 2 years later, 2 hours later, I went to the doctor and he told me that you're suffering with 104 degrees fever. And then he tested me and I was having dengue. But I still did the session, and I felt
Hmm.
that there is something wrong with the camera, and that is why the vision is blurred. So
Hmm.
I don't know. I genuinely feel that if you are so very passionate about your work, the results would come for you. And that passion is something that you said that people are connected with me at such a level. I also had no idea. When we did EBW event, some of my old friends came there. One of my content writers came there, and she was like, Rahul, I can't believe my eyes. We have been sitting here continuously for 14 hours on all 3 days. Even when 13 hours have passed, you go onto the stage, you tell people to stand up, they do it. You tell them to be quiet, nobody talks. You tell them to do an activity, they do it without saying anything at all. They don't crib, they don't complain. You tell them that the dinner would be late today, we'll take dinner 2 hours later because the session should continue. How is this happening? I'm like, I have no idea. Now I realize that all the efforts that we are putting in is actually appreciated so much by people. Even yesterday, day before yesterday, when I concluded my residential workshop, there was a person who came. He's a CA. His name is Mr. CA Pankaj, and all the people appreciated it. And my motive was not just to get the compliment from people that it was a good session. I wanted that each and every one of them should say that this is the best workshop that we have ever attended in our entire life. All of them said the same thing. And what CA Pankaj said was that, Rahul, I am going from here, Rahul sir, and I have a question on my mind which will go unanswered. I'm like, I guess we have answered all the queries. He says, there's one query that has not been answered. And I said, okay, what is it? He said, the query that I have on my mind is कि राहुल सर एक अच्छे ट्रेनर हैं, ज्यादा अच्छे ट्रेनर है या ज्यादा अच्छे इंसान है? ये सवाल मैं अपने संग आज भी लेके जा रहा हूँ. So I'm like, I must be doing something good. So if you get that sort of love, appreciation, you see people's life changing. We have a very big wall over here, a board there. And on top of that board, we have all the success stories that we have created. We have the names of people over there.
Hmm.
So when I look at that, I don't think I need any external motivation at all for being consistent. And honestly speaking, if people are not consistent, if people crib, complain, and they say that being consistent is tough, then they don't deserve to be successful in their life. That's the single thing that I would like to say to people. All the top achievers across the world, they are consistent and they show up every single day. That's what
Hmm.
matters.
That's awesome. Great. There's another thing that you're super consistent with. It's sales, right? So you've been a pro sales guy. You mentioned direct selling, network marketing. You mentioned USP, wherein you were selling discount cards, more than discount cards. Then, of course, the communication mastery program, your workshops. So sales is one thing which is pretty much common, in all of these things that you've done. So what is your take on sales? Because pretty much everyone listening to this, they need to understand the importance of sales, and there are so many people who hate sales, like, so what would you like to say to people in reference to sales and based on whatever experience you've had with it in the last 1 decade? Yeah.
First of all, I would give you some numbers pertaining to that. Because I tell you why I was coming over here before we were planning to do this. I sent a WhatsApp message to my team member. I sent her a voice note. I told that these are some of the things that we have done pertaining to sales. Please make a good write up about it. So when we started in Dehradun, even though we had to make cards going to events, fairs, and places, we did not have any digital setup. We made 50,000 cards in Dehradun, 50,000 cards. Making 50,000 cards manually is very difficult. Actually, we did that.
Mm.
Then we did the Survivor event. First edition, we had 1,500 participants. Fourth edition, we had 5,000 participants. From the second edition onwards, for every event, we had more than 70 sponsors. Getting 70 sponsors to an event is not easy. We did that. Then we started with Communication Mastery. We'll very soon have 10,000 enrolled members there. Then we did EBW1, wherein you were a part of. Then we did SLM, Sales and Leadership Masterclass event. That was again sold out. Then we launched with Sales Masterclass. That went really well. We did the 2 days workshop on public speaking and personal branding. That was sold out. We did the 2 days workshop on sales. That was sold out. We did the public speaking championship. We sold 3,000 tickets for the same within 9 days. So 3,000 people signed up within 9 days. Then we did this residential workshop. 3 batches got sold out, no ads, not even a landing page we created. And EBW2, because of COVID, we would be doing it for less people now. It has also been sold out. I don't think it can be a coincidence that all these things happen one after the other. It is because of the immaculate preparation. It is because I understand what exactly do I need to serve people with, how they're going to be happy, how we would be able to bring about a change in their life, what is the psychology, and how we would be able to give to people what they actually want. One very simple thing when it comes to selling is ask from people what they want and then give it to them. Simple. So I ask people what all things do you want me to incorporate in my upcoming sessions. People tell me, I give it to them. That's number one. The second thing is people don't understand that if a transaction does not happen, no transformation is going to happen, no change is going to come about. For example, somebody comes to my webinars and attends my session. He gets value from me, he gets some knowledge from me. But if they don't do that transaction, if they don't become a part of my paid offering, they go back and all the knowledge and the momentum that they have gained, it will fade away in the next few days. When they become a part of whatever I'm offering to them, that transaction has happened and now I would be able to serve them even more. The third thing is the entire economy is based upon movement, right? Everything that we see around myself, that we see around yourself has been bought. Somebody sold it to you. So every day people are being sold something or the other. Whether they like it or they don't like it, whether they even realize it or they don't realize it, it is being sold to them. So if you don't become good at sales, you would never be able to grow. The fourth thing over here is till the time you will be paid on the basis of the number of hours that you would put in, you will be broke or you will stay in the middle class. The day you start getting paid on the outcome or on the results, then you would start earning so much more money. Sales is the only profession wherein you get paid on the basis of the outcome. You sell more, you earn more. Otherwise, if you're getting paid on the number of working hours that you put in an industry, you will always be broke because you're not adding any value. If you look at it, the rich people are rich because they are paid on the basis of the outcome. There is second thing to that. The rich people are rich because they give more to the market than what they take. And that is what I strongly believe in, and I always do it. A lot of people say that Rahul, you always over deliver, and we are very proud of it because I genuinely believe that today, if a person promises us something, maybe we go to a hotel, and even if we get 40% of what is promised, we feel happy. I believe in 500% over delivery, 600% over delivery, because when you do that, then selling just happens by default. People realize that this person has done so much for me, they don't even think twice before investing money with you. And one more thing is over here, since our childhood, we have always been taught about what we can take from the market, what we can take from a place. Always we have been told, go to the office, think about how much salary you would get. Go to that vegetable vendor, tell them to give me a little bit of extra dhania, a little bit of extra this. All our life, we have always been taught about what can you take, what can you take, what can you take. We have never been told about what you need to give, that you need to give more. I am always thinking about what can I give to my participants. And when I have that sort of a thought process, I'm not even selling them. I'm thinking about what value can I provide to them. And in exchange of that, of course, there needs to be a transaction that needs to happen. They pay money, they invest upon themselves. So I always know that I'm giving to them. And because of that mindset, I'm not afraid of selling at all. Many a times, We are not even able to ask for a monetary commitment because we don't have 100% faith upon what we are doing. That is not the case with us. I know what we are doing is helpful. I know what we are doing is going to bring about a change in people's lives. I feel bad when an individual, despite knowing that it is good for them, is not able to take out their debit card or their credit card only because their mindset has been framed in such a manner that they need to save money. And I'm on a mission to change that for people. And I know that gradually a lot of people will also understand that the day they start selling, understand that it's a noble profession, their life is going to change for the good.
Beautiful. That's so inspiring. Awesome. Okay. I don't know what happens, but every time I listen to you, and I'm sure it's also the case with the people who know you, the people who listen to you, it's like you transmit energy. Every time you're speaking, the this energy is so electrifying, and I think it's awesome. It's just spectacular. All right, so now what we're going to do is, if there's anything that you want to share with the audience, any message that you want to give to them, please do it. I'm also going to add links to your social media, and everything that we spoke about, I'm going to add links to that below the episode. But if there's anything that you'd like to say to the audience, please, the mic's yours.
There's going to be a day when you're going to go to your funeral. There are going to be certain people who are from your immediate family who are going to talk about all the good things about you. Maybe the next generation is going to remember you. I have a question for all the people who are listening to us right now. It would hit you hard. I'm sure you must be knowing your father's name. I'm sure you must be knowing your grandfather's name. But how many of you actually remember the name of your grandfather's father? I can guarantee you 90% of you would not even be knowing that. And the reason for that is that he did not do anything spectacular in his life. He probably gave it his all. He probably provided with a lot of learning, a lot of good values instilled in our own family, but maybe he was not able to do something spectacular. You have that opportunity today to make it big in your life so that you are remembered for years and years to come. If we have been born as a human being, it's a duty to do something good, something that is worth remembering, and something that is going to be passed on to a lot of people in the future as a legacy. So if there's a particular thing, skill, talent, ability that you're good at, give it your 100% because you never know. Just that one initiative of yours will not just make you maybe remembered for a long period of time, but would also be able to bring about a change in the lives of a lot of people. The world needs more leaders. And once you start believing in yourself, once you start taking that action, maybe you're going to be that leader or that person whom your family is going to be remembered for. I want you to do it because there's one thing that I very truly believe in, and that is I don't mind being wrong, but I would definitely hate regretting that I did not take that action. I know that there are a lot of things that you have been procrastinating since the past so many days, weeks, months, or even years. Do that today, and you realize it was not that tough.
Beautiful.
Hmm.
Thanks so much. Thank you so much, Rahul, for sharing that. Uh, it's been an awesome episode. It's beautiful. I'm definitely going to share the link with you when it goes live. So thank you, and thanks to everyone who's listened to episode number 23 of the Nishkarsh Sharma Show. Do take a screenshot of this and tag Rahul on Instagram with a review with your feedback. Do share this episode with someone you love and you truly care about. And I'm going to catch up with you guys in the next one. Rahul, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much. And I know you had been asking me to do this. We had back-to-back events and plans, but I'm happy that finally we have been able to do it today.
Yeah, absolutely. It's been awesome. So thank you so much, and thanks to all of you guys. I'm gonna catch up with you guys in the next episode.